another Astra with this same rattling noise, but only when the engine's warmed up, not from cold. Quiet as a mouse from cold. Seems to be when the oil pressure drops, when the engine's nice and warm. But there's only one other video where I've heard the similar noise. It's just a recording, so I thought I'd make a video that shows what I've had on two cars, two 1.8 petrol Astra SRIs with the variable valve time and the cam dephasers. So listen to this one first. So that was 15 minutes into idle. It was quiet at first. You can hear all the other sort of little tapping noise, but I'm not interested in that. That's all right. It's just that sort of loud knocking sort of rattle noise. So now listen to this one. This is the previous one. So back on this Astra again. It's making like a knocking noise. It's definitely from the top end. It did it before, and we changed the intake cam dephaser, the VVTi dephaser, because it was rattling quite loose. I'll show you that in a bit. But it still makes the noise, but it's not as bad as it was, but it still makes the noise. So we made a mistake in not really checking this one. This one, it felt solid at the time, but is making some noise now. I don't think that was like that before, but this one, that's solid. So I'm going to replace this one and see what happens. And do the other one. Solid. Right. Right, change the other one. So we'll see how that goes. Right, so we changed them pulleys, and the touch wood, the noise hasn't come back after it's sat ticking over, heating up for a while, and it hasn't come back. So hopefully that's the end of that one. But then when we took it for a test drive, it's crunching, banging and crunching over speed bumps, and then we found this. I don't think you see. The spring has completely snapped on the driver's side. It did sound like it was coming from the passenger side, but that's it. So I'm gonna have to whip this out and change the spring. I can love this car. Right, so that's basically it. So if anyone gets this problem and they're just running around in circles all the time, you've got this variable valve timing system. You've got two solenoids, one on the exhaust side, one on the intake side. You can see them and you can get to them. On the left hand side there, you can see them. They're quite easy. You just there's just one bolt, an electrical connector, and you just put them in. I've seen loads of debates about cleaning the little gauze strainer filter things on them, or just removing them completely. I've seen people saying stuff like that just to prevent any sort of oil starvation to the pulleys. But I don't know what's the best on that. Someone might be able to put in the comments if they know any more. But you can replace them. That's the easiest thing. Probably about 25 quid, 30 quid, maybe a bit more for a pair of those. First easy solution, put them in, easy to do. After that, make sure you got the right oil in your car. Maybe make sure you haven't got low oil. You've got oil pressure. As obviously that will starve those pulleys as well, especially when the oil pressure drops with the heat, when the oil gets thinner. So check all them things first, rule all that out, and then the last thing, you have to bite the bullet and buy these dephaser pulleys. So you're looking at paying anywhere from £60 over £100. You want to get a trusted part from somewhere really, so you're probably looking at 100 quid per dephaser pulley. If you can narrow it down, good, but you do see a change in pairs. I made that mistake on the red Astra. I changed one, put it all back together, noise still there. So when I took it off, then we actually found play on the exhaust side. But as you can see, on those videos, I don't know if I explained it properly, but you lock the camshaft at the other side of the engine, and then you can physically turn, some are worse than the other, but you can turn these pulleys without moving with the camshaft locked in place. So obviously you shouldn't be able to do that. They should be solid. So the new one you can see is solid, and then all of a sudden now the exhaust one has some movement on it. So that's how we identified that Oz were wrong. Any comments on that, I'd be glad to hear them. But yeah, that's about it.